Good afternoon, dear students, dear colleagues, everybody who wants to learn English together with us. Today is a sunny day, isn't it? And it's a pleasure to start our English class with sun shining and English speech. My name is Belявskая Любовь Ивановна. I'm a teacher of English in Nazarbayev Intellectual School of Physics and Math in Kokšetau. And the topic of our today's lesson is clothes journey. You can ask, why clothes? Because we all wear clothes. And why journey? Because we like to travel. And I hope that today's journey will be useful, interesting to all who is now together with us. Let's start. Even though it is our journey, we have some learning objectives to cover during this lesson. First of all, we all will speak and listen. In this way, we'll develop our speaking and listening skills. We'll solve some problems and we'll do it creatively, I hope, and we'll cooperate in groups. During this lesson, students will organize and present information clearly to others. Of course, we'll reflect on everything what is going on during the lesson and we'll explore a range of perspectives on the world. One more task that we are to do to explain and justify our own and others' point of view on a range of general and curricular topics, including some unfamiliar ones. And of course, it is necessary to navigate the talk and modify language in talk on a range of general and curricular topics, including unfamiliar. So, these are learning objectives of this lesson. Close journey, and let's talk a little bit. I'll ask you some questions. Please share ideas or give your ideas to the neighbor sitting next to you or to the whole group. Do you wear jeans? Of course, many of us wear jeans, and as for me, I like wearing them also. How many of you have at least one pair of jeans? Yes, you mostly have it. Are you wearing jeans now? Of course, some of you do, and some of you don't. I hope that the students of Nazarbayev Intellectual Schools, they are not wearing jeans now because we have our school uniform. You are quite right. When do you wear jeans then? Good, you know where to wear jeans. And do you know where they come from? Interesting. Some of you know and some of you just mixing things. Let's see. Further, maybe you'll try to find the answer to this question. And have people always worn jeans? Things were different many years ago. So, while organizing journey, we take a big truck, and to this journey we'll take this pack of questions and we'll try to find clarifications or answers to them. We are going to speak about jeans, as you understand. Jeans. And the next task is pair-share task. Please discuss these questions in pairs or in small groups. Why do you think people like jeans? Talk to each other. Share your ideas. Some of you are quite right. Jeans are comfortable, they are modern. Do you know the best brands of jeans? Ask your neighbor. These are some best brands of jeans. They are different. They are different in style. They are different in forms. And the brands are different. Of course, each of you find the proper one or the most suitable for yourselves. Should jeans be only blue? I hope you know the answer to this question. Jeans cannot be only blue, you are quite right. And if you forgot some colors, you are welcome to revise them. Blue, pink, orange, yellow, which one you prefer? The next question to think over is, should jeans be expensive? Please brainstorm the ideas about jeans' price. What makes them expensive? Should jeans be expensive? Well done. Good ideas. Now, interesting moments of the lesson. Do you know? Again, you can give the answer just on spot, or you may think and discuss it next to your partner. Who invented jeans? How they became fashionable? And how they are made? Questions, 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 and they make us think and find the answer to these questions. You remember, we are on a journey and we try to find at least some answers to some questions. Now look at this picture. Levi Strauss. He started an enduring fashion empire which he launched by making one of the world's most durable and popular clothing items, the blue jeans, 1870. This is the starting point. Now, during the next part of our lesson, I hope you will find some new ideas through watching a video. While watching, you are to maybe clarify your ideas or support your ideas with some information or arguments. Of course, I hope that you'll get better understanding of how jeans travel. They also travel. This video, I hope, will give you an opportunity to summarize the ideas through a process map of keywords or pictures and signs. Summary is necessary for making ideas or put ideas in order. And of course, while watching, you will develop your listening and speaking skills through practice. Now, before we shall start, let me explain how we'll organize our work. The group will work in pairs, everyone will be a member of one pair. You can divide the group according to A, B letters, 2 groups, and in a pair there should be A and B member. All the A's will write down the words with definitions as key ones to remember the process. A's are to write the words. In this way, you'll make a kind of map or plan. B's will draw pictures or signs to make a process map, and they also will have a kind of map or plan to tell the story. Now, as for vocabulary, you may use just a simple way to organize it. You may put the words which you met in the video, and you can write definitions to remember and to explain to your partner, because he will do some other words. Now, these are some words. You may meet them, you may not. Now you can predict the meaning of the words given there. This task is for A's. Now B's, all the members of the group who has this choice, they will make a process map. For this you are supposed to use pictures, and I hope you can draw well. If not, you can invent some signs to show the main stages of the process, step by step, picture after picture or sign after sign. It depends on you. You are welcome to invent something new. Now let's watch a video. Remember, please, while watching, make brief notes.
They're arguably the most popular piece of clothing in the world, yet they're also one of the most individual. As any urban cowboy will tell you, nothing fits so well as a pair of denim jeans. Jeans were invented not long after the California Gold Rush, when a certain Mr. Levi Strauss began making miners denim work pants with copper rivets. To say he came up with a winner is something of an understatement. 450 million pairs are sold every year in the US alone, and worldwide the denim market is worth around $40 billion. But every pair of jeans has made an amazing journey from the cotton field to the high street store. Their story begins 650 kilometers away on the plains of Torreon. Here in these vast fields, they grow one of Mexico's most important crops, cotton. Picking cotton by hand is slow, back-breaking work. Each picker can only harvest around 50 kilos a day, and it's always a gamble whether or not all the cotton can be harvested before the weather changes. Fortunately, cotton farmer Juan Antonio has an ace up his sleeve: the mechanical cotton picker. In just 5 minutes, this machine can harvest as much cotton as a human picker can manage in a whole day. It works by using lifters to direct the cotton plants between rotating drums. These are attached to a series of spindles covered in barbs, which pluck the ripe balls of cotton from the stem. The cotton is then blown through a tube into a basket at the back. Once Juan has filled his truck, Francisco Gonzalez compresses the whole lot into massive bales ready for transportation. But for each ton of this harvest, there are 500 kilos of seeds, 100 kilos of leaves and other plant parts, and just 400 kilos of cotton fibre. So to separate the valuable fibre from the debris, it's sent to this 1950s vintage cotton gin. This fabulous old machine looks like a monstrous Wurlitzer jukebox, and its job is to dry and clean the raw harvest. removing the unwanted seeds and plant leaves by sieving everything through a fine mesh. It's dusty work, but what emerges at the other end are bales of refined cotton weighing around 200 kilos and containing enough fibre to produce 325 pairs of jeans. But first, the raw cotton needs to be turned into denim, which is what they do here at the Denim Art Factory in the southern Mexican state of Puebla. The trouble is, when it arrives, every bale of cotton is slightly different. So, to make a consistent thread, the cotton needs to be blended. That process begins here, in the blow room, with bale laydown. A machine called a Truschler blendomat uses a mechanical arm to pick fibres from the top of the bales. These fibres are then blown along air ducts into special multi-mixers before they're cleaned by being blown around, allowing any trash to fall out the bottom. The resulting fibres still don't look like thread, so it's then down to operators like Jose and his trusty DK760 to perform what's known as carding. Now, despite what you may think, carding isn't something that a Las Vegas croupier does, but is rather the process of untangling the fibres by combing and pulling the cotton into a kind of web. The fibres are then stretched together to form a thick strand called a sliver. At a speed of 1,500 feet per minute, 6 slivers are stretched and combined. The next stage is spinning. At each one of these stations, cotton slivers are pulled and twisted at a rate of up to 120,000 revolutions per minute. There are between 100 and 250 fibres in a single thickness of cotton thread, and just 20 grams of fibre produce a whole kilometre of fine yarn. On these giant reels, they now have something that's starting to look like familiar cotton. But to make jeans blue, the cotton first needs to be dyed. You guessed it, yellow. But don't panic, Ramiro the cowboy isn't going to end up looking like a lemon. The reason the dye is yellow is because indigo blue dye isn't water soluble. So it first needs to be mixed with a reducing agent, sodium hydrosulfite, and it's this that turns it yellow. Then, when it's removed, something magical happens.
Normally, the indigo bath is yellow, okay? But as soon as it has contact with the oxygen, it turns blue, as you can see in the surface of the glass.
Because the bond between the dye and cotton isn't very strong, jeans gradually fade. But of course, if jeans didn't fade, they just wouldn't be jeans. The thread is treated with cornstarch to make it stiffer, then after a blast in a dryer, the cotton is ready to use. The trouble is, it's just a bit too blue. Denim originally got its name from a type of French fabric, serge de Nîmes, Nîmes being a city in France. If you look at it closely, you'll see it actually contains a combination of white and blue thread. So, as the cotton is fed into the loom, it's blended with 1 strand of white to every 3 strands of blue. Each of these looms turns out 3,000 meters of denim every week, enough to make cowboys like Ramiro a pair of jeans with flares the size of wigwams. Those jeans are made here in Tehuacan. This is Mexico's largest jeans factory and produces designs for most of the famous American brands, churning out 400,000 pairs every month. A typical pair of 5-pocket jeans uses 15 pieces of cloth. So they first stack the denim into piles of 100 sheets, ready for each piece of the design to be cut. It's up to pattern layer Antonio Martinez to make sure that as little material as possible is wasted. Using a computer, he can limit the offcuts to just 7%. Once he's happy, the pattern is printed onto paper. Next, the design is rolled out over the denim. This stage is more like carpentry than tailoring, and with the denim 100 sheets deep, any mistake will be costly. Once cut, it's like a military operation, with an army of jean genies assigned to one specific task. Each pair of jeans takes 15 minutes to make and requires 1.6 meters of denim, several hundred meters of thread, 6 rivets and 1 zipper, or 5 buttons. On seam ironing duty is Marie Cruz.
I like my job a lot because there's no pressure here, unlike other areas of the factory. I iron 300 pairs a day. I like ironing, but later my back will hurt.
Marie adds the finishing touches to these spanking new jeans, but they're still not ready to grace a cowboy's behind. These days, everyone's too cool to wear jeans that look brand new. So they're about to become distressed by being slipped onto some rubber legs, blown up and given a little rough handling. In just 60 minutes, this team are going to make the jeans look like they've spent the last 5 years being dragged around a mine. So they set to work sanding in worn patches, grinding in frayed edges, and spraying on stains. Then, to add a few worn-in designer creases, it's out with a high-tech laser gun. These jeans get an even rougher ride than the Buckaroos. To give them a final hammering, they're tossed into gigantic washing machines along with a few buckets of volcanic rock. Once dried, the jeans are now shrunken and nicely worn in. Or totally trashed, according to your point of view. After a quick press and the obligatory label, so you know whether they're designer expensive or just cheap and cheerful, they're boxed and ready to be shipped to budding bronco busters everywhere.
Let's share. Again in pairs, please. Face each other and share your ideas according to the video. What were the most interesting or striking ideas or impressions you've got? For those students who wrote words, you may have this kind of work. Harvest, for example, or to harvest, as it is a verb, to collect a crop from the field. And denim, it's a noun. Thick cotton cloth that is usually blue and is used especially to make jeans. Explain the definitions and the words to your partner. And those students who made a map, process map, may have a kind of this scheme, or some pictures and signs. You can explain the process. Share ideas. Hope your ideas support each other's. Now, you've got a check-in list, peer assessment. Each pair, please, provide assessment of the summary of the process according to the criteria. Developed ideas when you present your scheme, relevance to the topic, it concerns jeans, or you may tell about the cotton growing or jeans production. Clear communication and grammar accuracy. These are the main things you can take into account while assessing. The next task for this lesson is writing. I hope that you obtained much information. And now, each student, please write a short process about 50 words according to the watched video. You should demonstrate the use of your notes and acquire ideas from the video watching and sharing with a partner. So again, you can work together. You can use both maps prepared by A and B students. You will have about 6 minutes for your writing. Enjoy the process. Use the notes. Develop your ideas. While writing, pay attention to criteria of assessment. You are supposed to assess your work yourselves according to these criteria: content, community achievement, organization of your piece of work, and language. Content should be relevant to the task, should be well balanced. You are to use your style and keep the format. You may use linking devices, cohesion while organizing the process, and appropriate vocabulary and structure should be used while writing. Now you are very successful in doing the tasks, and I hope you enjoyed writing. Now we are passing to the next stage of the lesson, round table talk. Again, we are talking about jeans and journey of jeans. Now jeans companies are always trying to find out what teenagers think is cool. What do you think is the next thing in jeans? What the companies can change? Let's talk. Now, to organize our talk, we can divide and sit into two groups. All the students A, they can form one group and sit around one table. Students B groups, they can organize the second group. And one more question for B group to discuss. If you were going to launch your own clothing company, what kind of jeans would you manufacture? Would they be high fashion, eco-friendly, cheap, or expensive? If you don't feel comfortable in one of the groups, you may change your place and join the second group and discuss the question you are mostly interested in. Share your ideas. Give evidence. Use the ideas from the video and your discussion. So it's time to reflect on what was going on during the lesson and what we did during it. Answer these questions, please. What did I do? What challenges have I experienced? What are the most important things I have learned from this activity? And how can I use this information for my future development? As for your homework, you are given the task to continue investigation. Research independently at home to find some new interesting information on this topic. Maybe you are interested in the history and you would like to know how jeans looked like many years ago. Maybe you are doing some other research. You are welcome. So during the lesson we covered several objectives and hope you enjoyed listening and speaking process and developed your skills. Now you understand better how jeans travel and how they are made. You can summarize the ideas through the process of map making or keywords using as a plan. and you developed your assessment skills through practice. And of course, reflection can help you to make new plans for the next lessons. And to sum up everything and enjoy one more journey, you're welcome to another video watching.
You've just cleaned out your wardrobe and you're feeling good. But what are you going to do with that pile of clothes you no longer want? To help you decide, let's look at what really goes into producing them. Take this pair of jeans. They're made from cotton. It takes about 6 months for cotton to grow from a seed into a mature plant. Some crops are irrigated, while others manage on rainfall. Most cotton crops also use fertilisers, herbicides and insecticides to help them grow. After harvesting, the cotton is transported to a factory where the fibre is separated from the seed. Next, the yarn is woven together to make denim. Finally, the fabric is made into jeans. The finished jeans are often washed or stone washed to produce a faded look. They can also be sanded, sprayed, ripped and cut to give them that distressed look. Finally, the jeans are packed and transported to markets all over the world. In 2009, 17.8 million pairs of jeans were imported into Australia. At the end of a long journey from the farm, you can buy that pair of jeans from a local shop. When we really think about all the resources that go into a pair of jeans, we realise just how valuable they are. So even though you may no longer wear them, why would you leave something so valuable sitting in your wardrobe? Or worse still, throw them away. What else can you do? There are lots of ways you can give unwanted items a new life. Find a new use for them. Give them to friends, family or a charity, or take them to a swap party. At a swap party, everyone brings along good quality items they no longer want. Things like clothes or books, CDs or even DVDs, toys or sports equipment. Everyone hands their items over to the host, who exchanges them for tokens. When the swapping begins, each token is exchanged for something that was brought by someone else. It's as easy as that. So to exchange your unwanted items, come along to one of the many big Aussie swap parties happening this National Recycling Week. For a complete how-to guide for hosting your own swap party, check out recyclingweek.planetark.org. Happy swapping!
The resources that were used during this lesson, you are welcome to use them. You may add some new ones as soon as you found. Thank you for your attention. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Bye.